Hello friends, we have seen that to make concrete we need basic four ingredients. One is cement, sand, aggregates and water. When you mix them all together we get the constituent known as concrete. So to make concrete we need four items. If you add anything other than these four items, we call those items as admixtures. So what are admixtures? Admixtures are the one constituents which are added to concrete other than cement, sand, aggregate and water. So this I can say the materials or constituents other than what are the things required? Cement, sand, coarse aggregate and water. If you add anything other than that, we call that as admixtures. We come across another term known as additive. Additive is the constituent or the material that is added while grinding the cement. So we change the property of cement also. We have seen the flowchart for the manufacturing of cement. Last thing what we get is the clinker, and we grind the clinker to convert it into cement by adding gypsum. At that position, at that point, whatever ingredients we are adding other than the required, we call them as additives. Additives are used in the manufacturing of cement, whereas admixtures are the constituents that are added in the concrete other than cement, sand, aggregate and water. So admixtures, there are many types of admixtures which we are using in market. The basic purpose of the admixtures is to modify the property of concrete. The concrete what we are getting has got its own properties. If I want to modify the property of concrete, then we will be adding admixtures. So it is used for modifying property of concrete. See, property of the concrete in the sense, if I want to change the workability or increase the workability without increasing the water content, or if I want to have high strength, I'll have to reduce water, so that we add this admixture so that we can get the required workability and the strength of the concrete. In addition to that, there are many other purposes for which we are using these admixtures. So for the purpose what we want different types of concrete. So the basic purpose is to modify the property of ordinary concrete, like workability, flowability, fluidity, strength, depending upon structural requirement. In other words, we can say we get the tailor-made concrete. See how the tailor will take our size and he will be stitching compared to ready-made cloths. Likewise here, whatever property I want of concrete, you can achieve that property by adding the admixtures. So let us see some of the basic admixtures that are used. The first type you can begin is plasticizers. So these plasticizers we also call it as water reducing agent. These are water reducing agent. They have got the property to reduce the water. So when we reduce the water, what will happen to workability? It will get decreased. But when we add super plasticizers, we will see higher workability. For high workability without using excess water. See, when you want more workability, definitely we'll have to add more water. But without adding more water, we can achieve the workability without using excess water. The other purpose of using plasticizer is to reduce cement. So when we reduce cement, what will happen to strength? It will be falling. But this superplasticizer will try to reduce the cement quantity, and because we are reducing the water quantity also. So here the basic examples you can write is in an ionic sulfur anionic surfactants. So the most common example in this, lignosulfonates. So this is a common example. There is a commonly what we are using lignosulfonates as the superplasticizer, and in case of non-ionic, the example we can quote is esters, polyglycol. So these are some of the examples, chemical names of the superplasticizer which are used in the concrete to improve the properties of concrete. So here we usually use 0.1 to 4% of the liquid for the weight of the cement. So what is cement we are adding? Out of that, 0.1 to 4% of weight of cement is added as the superplasticizer. Now here, how this will be working? Why the water requirement is less when we add plasticizers? What action is going to take place? Because the water what we are adding is less than the required, but when we add superplasticizer, that water becomes excess. So how that is possible? How it is making the concrete as workable? Suppose if I take grain particles of cement particles, if they are, suppose if I take concrete block, if this is the cement particle very close to each other having water, so when we add superplasticizer to this, then the cement particles, they are dispersed. Why this is happening? Suppose if I take any cement particles here, whatever plasticizer we are adding, that gets absorbed to the surface. It gets absorbed to the surface. So plasticizer gets absorbed to surface. Due to this absorption of the superplasticizer to the cement particle, this is cement particle, this is also cement particle, all three are cement particle. What will happen is there will be repulsion from one particle to the other particle. So there will be repulsion due to the absorption of the plasticizer to the cement particle, they will be repelling. Now here suppose if I take cement particle, it has got water interlocked in between, interlocked water. So when we add superplasticizer, they are getting dispersed out. So what is happening? The water that is enclosed will be releasing out. This is released water, and this released water is the one which will be imparting more water to the concrete so that it becomes more workable. So here in this way, the superplasticizers or superplasticizers will be working by getting absorbed to the surface of the cement particles and releasing the excess water. So this excess water will help in the workability of the concrete. This is one type, the first type, which we called as plasticizer. So plasticizers are used to modify the properties of concrete. How it is working, that I have explained in this diagram. The principle of how the water gets released, extra water is available for the making of the concrete. The next type of admixture is superplasticizer. See, we have seen the term plasticizer, they are water reducing agents. Superplasticizers are high water reducing agent. high amount of water can be reduced by adding the superplus. That's why we call it as high water reducing agent. You can reduce water up to 30%. You can reduce water up to 30%. See the enormous decrease in the water that you can achieve. Now here they are more powerful as dispersion agent. We have seen how the dispersion is taking place. Dispersion agents, they are more powerful as dispersion agent, replaces by 30%. The common examples you can quote is sulfonate melamine. Sulfonated melamine. If you go to final year, if you are going to do projects, you will be using superplasticizer, and you see the chemical constituents on that. So this is a common sulfonated melamine, formaldehyde, naphthalene, then modified. These are the names you will have to remember. Modified polymer lignosulfonate, and we also use acrylic polymer. So these are some of the examples of the superplasticizer. So usually the dosage is 0 to 5% or 3 to 4% is also used in the case. Now here, how much percentage of water to superplasticizer to be added? It depends upon the optimum dosage of superplasticizer. How much dosage you'll have to give depending upon our requirement. Now here, for knowing how much dosage we can go, or for knowing optimum dosage of superplasticizer, for knowing that, we conduct an experiment known as Marsh-Cohn experiment. Marsh-Cohn, as the name itself indicates, it's a cone. It is made up of brass, and at the bottom it has got a small opening. So to conduct this experiment, what we will do is, we will take cement, 2 kg of cement. To that we add 0.5% of water cement ratio. In that, this is one set, 2 kg cement, 0.5% of water cement ratio, means how much will be water? 1 kg of water. We mix it. In that, we go on changing the superplasticizer. We begin with 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, like this. We go on increasing 0.5, 1%, 1.5, 2. We go on increasing the water cement ratio. So when we, suppose if I begin the first set, I'll add 2 kg of cement, 0.5% of water cement ratio, 0.1% of superplasticizer. So 0.1% of what? 2 kg of cement. So this will be about 20 ml or something. So we add it in a mixer, mortar mixer. This is mixer machine. So in the rotary we will be rotating, and then we will be pouring that material into the cone. So this cone is made to stand on a stand, and we keep a container below so that I can collect whatever is falling out. So what we do is, we fill the material into this cone. So before filling, we will be holding the mouth of the outlet so that the mortar should not come out, or the cement paste should not come out. So when we pour the complete material in that Marshall cone, then we'll release the finger. So at that point you should note down the time. Then it will slowly flow out. It will get empty. Note down the time it has taken. So you'll come to know how much time it has taken. So you can plot the graph for that. So this is percentage of superplasticizer, and this is time. If I take it like this, so when the superplasticizer is less, it will be taking more time. Suppose you have got something like that. Then next what you will do, we will add 0.2% of superplasticizer. Again fill in the cone, hold the mouth. Then before releasing your finger, just note down the time, allow it to flow. So note down the time. So the note, as you go on increasing the superplasticizer, the time what is required will go on decreasing. After certain point, you see that there is no much decrease in the point. It will almost remains the same. So if I join this graph, so this graph will help us to know what is the dosage of the concrete. So this point we call it as saturation point. Saturation point. So beyond this, if you go on increasing the superplasticizer, there is no meaning in that. So how much is the dosage that I can go is up to here. So whatever percentage of superplasticizer we will be getting, that will be the dosage of the superplasticizer that will be given. So this is a Marsh cone experiment that is conducted to know the dosage of superplasticizer to be put into the concrete. So we have seen plasticizer, we have seen superplasticizer. Mainly their function is to make the concrete more workable, increase the strength, and make the concrete more durable. In addition to this, we have got some other admixtures also which are required for other properties of concrete. So like for example, the next admixtures that we are using is known as retarders. So as the name itself indicates, see, whenever we add water to concrete, hydration process will take place. If you want to slow down the hydration process, then we will be adding retarders. So the basic purpose of retarder is to slow down chemical process of hydration, so that the concrete will be more plastic and more workable for a long time. So here this type of admixtures we use in high temperature. See, in case of high temperature areas, the water what we are adding, and if we are using it, it will evaporate fast, and the water that is available for hydration will get reduced fast. So there we want to slow down the hydration process. So in such circumstances we add retarders. So retarders are used in the high temperature area for whenever there is long transportation. If the site is far away from the point where the concrete is made, then we add retarders. The purpose of retarders is it retards the chemical process of hydration. So the common examples we can see is calcium sulfate, sugar. If you add these things, it acts as retarders. So this is one which is retarding the chemical process time. So others will be accelerators. So this is in hot countries. In cold countries, it will take long time for hydration. So here what we do, we will add accelerators so that the hydration process will be fast, and wherever we are using molds for the construction, you can easily use the mold again and again, or more early than compared to the concrete. So here the accelerators accelerates the rate of hydration. It accelerates the rate of hydration to increase early strength development. To increase the early strength development. This is one purpose. Also, whenever the hydration is fast, the strength gain will also be fast. So in that case, the setting will be fast, so that the molds what we are using can be easily removed. Early removal of formwork. Formworks are the one which is acting as molds in which you will be pouring concrete. You can early remove the formwork whenever adding this. So this will reduce also curing period. This will reduce curing period because acceleration is fast here. They will also early use of structure. You can use early the structure for its purpose, and it is also used when it is for emergency repair. If it is emergency repair, it has to hydrate fast. So we add accelerators to that. So the example is here calcium nitrate, nitrite and nitrates, both nitrites and nitrates. So these are the admixtures what we are using. We have seen plasticizer. So plasticizer retarders slow down the hydration process, accelerators accelerates the hydration process. So these are used in cold countries. In cold countries where hydration has to be fast. We'll see other admixture also. There is one more important admixture what we are using. We call it as air entrainment admixtures. Air entraining admixtures. So when we add these admixtures, there will be a lot of workability that will be taking place. See, the specialty of this is air entraining. So we will be introducing like bubbles in the concrete, and we know you heard charra in the cycle and all. We are using charra round. The purpose is the working of the axle will be very smooth. So here also we try to create nanomolecules, nanoparticles, like, or what you can call bubbles. So whenever we mix the concrete, those bubbles will make the concrete more easily workable. So that's why it is known as the air entraining admixtures. So there will be number of small bubbles that will be introduced. So they will be acting as a easy workable. It gives easy workability to the concrete. So if you see to here, air entraining agents incorporates millions of non-coalescing air bubbles, which act as flexible ball bearing. I told you they will be acting charras. They will be acting as ball bearing, which acts as flexible ball bearings which acts as flexible ball bearing and modify the properties of concrete. they modified the properties of concrete of plastic stage of plastic concrete. Plastic means when it is in wet state, what properties it will modify will be workability, segregation, bleeding, finishing. See, these are the sequence which we have seen when we are in fresh concrete. And frost action, permeability, all the properties of the concrete in fresh state get improved, so that it is becoming very much workable concrete. So usually the size, bubble size is 5 to 80 microns. So usually the example is wooden resin or animal and veg oil, then aluminum powder. So these are some of the examples which are used as air entering agents. So the main purpose of this is to improve workability. But with this, there is a drawback. There will be reduction of strength because of number of air bubbles which is acting as flexible ball bearing. Workability is very good. There may be slight decrease in the strength of the concrete. So these are the chemical admixtures that we are using. Admixtures are of two types. One is mineral admixture, which are naturally available, and second is the chemical admixture, which are chemically manufactured. So here when you go for mineral admixture, we come across flash, then GGBS, blast furnace slag. These are all the other type of admixtures. And the chemical admixtures what we have seen, we will see about these admixtures in a next video. Thank you.